is 77%.
Hello, Facebook Live. Marcus here. What's happening? I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook, and both notifications just went out. So we'll wait for some people to start joining on. I'm tasting some amazing wine today that I'm super excited about, like really, really excited about, because we've not had this wine in almost a year. We haven't had this wine, right?
It's almost 2 years.
Well, pre-COVID, March, the company was sold.
Right.
The company was sold.
Years.
A year and a half. It's been a year and a half. Thank you everybody for tuning in on Instagram and tuning in on Facebook. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Drop a comment where you're tuning in from, and if it's live, hashtag live or hashtag replay, and also where you're tuning in from. Hello Joel, hello everybody tuning in. So super excited because we have some wines in front of us right now that are really very special to us. And they're special to us because we've been to the vineyards in Spain. We did a Spain tour a couple years ago, and after our tour, Jamie and I did a real in-depth excursion of some more regions and went all around Spain and got in the car and just drove from Zaragoza to Barcelona to Valencia and Navarra. It was an amazing tour with our guests, and then afterwards it was just really, really awesome. So long story short,
Or just a Facebook. Either way, it doesn't matter.
We were in great with this company called Frontier Wines, and Maria, who's been the sales rep there for years, is a friend of ours. We like to do business with friends, and that's an important part of it.
We like to build relationships.
We like to build relationships, do business with friends. We like to do business with people we like, right? There's no fun doing business with people you don't like. And there's no fun.
Sure.
There's no fun buying wine you don't like. So we like to like everybody. We're just likable people. We like to like, and we like to be liked. So this is really good. So we are we're going to Spain. We've been buying these Spanish wines for a while.
It's crazy.
Ochoa and Cambria. We know the Spanish wines from the importer. The importer's here in New York. Well, the importer actually sold the company, Tom. Tom sells the company last March 1st. And the wines disappear out of New York. He sells it to a California company, an importer. And all of a sudden, we can't start buying some of our favorite wines. So if you've been to the restaurant before and you've had Soplo, you know this wine, and you probably love this wine, Soplo.
Or
Ochoa as well, but Soplo was a standard red in our wine list for a while, by the glass. People walk in and say, I want the Soplo. They knew what they wanted. And these wines just disappeared out of New York, gone. And with COVID happening last March, this company sold March 1st, the importer, there wasn't really a market for any other company to say, well, we'll bring in more wine into New York. Right now is a great time for us to order a container load of wine and stock up our warehouse. And so these wines made it to the West Coast of the new importer, and that was it. They were gone. So Maria was out of a job because the company sold, and when it was done, Tom retired, and Maria picked up several months later, last fall, started working with another company, and we had spoken, and she's like, Marcus, I'm working on getting your favorite wines back. I'm working on with the new owners of the company I'm working with to contact it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Maria's here today.
Hi.
Jamie's here too.
I'm here too, everybody. I'm just in the background right now.
So Maria's here with an amazing surprise because we went on this magical Spanish wine tour where we took our guests to Rioja and Ribera del Duero, and then afterwards we went to Navarra, down to Zaragoza, down to Barcelona, we went to Panedes, we went to Mondstadt,
Zaragoza was my favorite.
Zaragoza was awesome. Pirat. Barcelona was very touristic, tourism, and it wasn't our favorite.
Where? Barcelona?
Barcelona wasn't our favorite.
No, it's too big. It's too big for us.
It's too tourist. And there's some beautiful things in Barcelona, very beautiful things.
I mean, gorgeous art. I mean,
I would recommend going there, but not staying there long. Do what you have to do and get out and go to the countryside. If you're into wines, you go just south, 45 minutes of Barcelona to Mondstadt and Pirat, going to the mountain ranges and drink some amazing wine there in those two regions. Panedes is right there where sparkling cava comes from. So Maria's here today with Ochoa. Ochoa is a wine from Navarra. And Maria, do you know the story about this being the King's wine? King's Winery. Do you know the story?
Is it?
They were the official winery of the King of
yes,
Navarre.
Yes.
Yeah, they were the official winery.
This is family owned for.
This is family owned forever.
Yeah.
And they were, let me show everybody the label, Jamie. I know you want some more. Ochoa. We served their rosé for the longest time here,
Yeah.
which is a rosé in stock, the 2020 rosé in stock.
We don't have it yet.
Not yet. Okay, when that's in, I want
let
some.
you
I don't
know.
even need to taste it because we know the winery.
I'll let you
We
know.
were there. Ochoa. This is a Chardonnay and Vieira blend, and this will be on our wine list very soon. There you go, Jamie. So Ochoa is this winery in Navarra. I don't know how old, but they used to be the winery, the official
king.
noted winery of the King of Spain, the King of Navarra at the time, King of Navarra, and we got an amazing tour, amazing afternoon there, just really, really, really awesome. So further down the road on the last day of our trip, the last full day of our trip, we're in Valencia. Valencia is in southern Spain. It's on the beach, it's on the ocean, and we were going to a winery up in the mountains called Cambria. Rafael Cambria is the owner, and Soplo is one of their wines. They have the Dew, right? The Dew and the Trace, right?
Yeah.
Are those in stock?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So far, I only have Soplo.
You'll only have
Okay.
Soplo. Okay, so
They just brought 13 SKUs in to start.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanna see if they sold, and of course, I'm selling.
okay.
so
Well,
much.
tell them I want to pre-order the tray and the
Yep.
Duo or Duo.
Duo.
Yeah, I have a list.
Duo and Trey.
Right, yeah. I want a special order. I want to order those. Tell me you have somebody who wants to buy them already, and the rosé from Ochoa. So, we bought a lot of wine from Maria in the past, and always loved doing business with her and the company she represented at the time. So
It was more about Maria.
it's more. It's always about the salesperson. It's always about the sales. It is. You have to like the person you're doing business with.
True.
And here's the thing that, like in restaurants, you know when you walk in and you sit at the bar, you walk in, you're greeted by the hostess or the bartender. You know within a
seconds.
split second if you're having a good time with that person, which means we're going to get along, we're going to have a conversation. You just know their energy off the bat, and this is part of the
right.
psychology of marketing, psychological biases.
So
Like,
true.
are you likable, and are we going to like you? Because getting the wrong greeting, the wrong hello, can ruin somebody's whole
Everything.
experience. The wrong way you answer the phone, and it happens. We're not perfect. It happens. It happens here, and it just happens. And trust me, when you drive an hour to a restaurant, your blood sugar's off, and you're starving. Somebody smiling at you could really make you upset. They could really make you upset. Hi, what do you mean you're smiling at me? I'm hungry. I want to eat right now, right? So, but regardless of that, back to the wine. Okay.
And don't forget, with Ochoa now, the daughters have taken over.
Okay.
Adriana is now the winemaker, and Beatrice is marketing. The two daughters have taken over the winery. Their father, Jorge, has retired, although he's at the winery
We
every day.
met Jorge.
Yes, we sure did.
He
100%.
retired, but he's at the
He's
winery
always
every
there.
day.
Yeah.
Well, he still needs to take care of what he's
There's a
doing.
lot of vineyard owners and restaurants
still
that
there.
retire that still
Yeah.
show up,
Yeah.
and they're not really they don't want to consider themselves retired
Right.
because they still show
They're
up like
just handing it down to their
Yep.
like every time we went to Bertani, up in Valpolicella, every time we went to Bertani, the father
was out in the
Gaetano
field.
was like to Giovanni, where's your father? Oh, he's out in the fields.
He's passed away now.
He's passed away, unfortunately. And Giovanni and his brother have taken the helm of this famous winery, Bertani. And we've gone there several times. But he's out in the fields. Like, it's dinner time. Where's he? Oh, he's out in the fields. He's doing doing something, right? So they do something, whether they're out there just pruning or they're out there just sniffing and barrel tasting. They're always involved in what they've built and what they've carried on with their family. So, Soplo or Rafael Cambria.
So we went there.
We went there. So we're in Valencia, and there's palm trees and all these citrus groves. I'm like, is there a real winery in Valencia? And
Oh yeah, this is a great story.
and we start driving. We start driving into the mountains, and we go up this mountain pass. And I'm like, okay, going up the mountains. And then we peak the mountains, and we get to the other side, and we're like, okay, there's like snow over here. It's November, and there's like snow. Like 20 minutes ago, there were palm trees and Valencia oranges everywhere, and now that's cold, and it's like it's like this totally different climate. I'm like, okay, now we're kind of in a wine region. So
we pull into a town.
we pull into a town because Tom gave us an address.
Yep.
Tom
The address was their
apartment. Now Tom
in the small town.
in the small town. Now, Tom told us that it's a one-man show.
It's a one-man show.
Yeah,
It's a one-man show.
Small. You'll never believe this. Blah blah blah.
You'll never believe it. It's small.
Yeah.
So we pull into this town,
It's
this
a
village,
town.
this little village, in the center of the square, and we're like, the address. And we go to this
we go to an
apartment building. And I'm like, okay, I know
We go upstairs.
I'm like, I know the winery's small, but is he running a winery out of his apartment?
Oh my God.
Like, is he running this winery out of his apartment? And we get to the door and we knock on the door. The wife answers. And we were with Lavinia at the time, who spoke fluent Spanish, who was working for us at the time. And so, but we're there with all of our cameras. Lavinia's carrying the backpacks of cameras.
We are these famous people.
We speak
Oh my
English.
God,
We
that's so
speak English.
funny.
So they're like, so the buzz around town was that these American New Yorkers are in town to interview Rafael Cambria because this is the buzz going on right now because
Oh
you
my
have
God.
3 people walking around town.
forgot about
Yeah, who are
that.
these English-speaking people?
forgot.
So Lavinia spoke to the wife for us in Spanish and basically called Rafael and it's like, okay, you're to drive 10 kilometers down this road,
far.
make a left, and you'll see a small town. In the center of town, there's a church. Stop at the church, and Rafael will meet you.
It was a square.
It's a square, little square.
Yeah.
There's a church. Park in front of the church. It's the only church there, and Rafael will meet you. And sure enough, we
met
drove
us.
down. We sat in the square, and all of a sudden, this
We hop in his
1978 like Nissan Datsun pickup showed
my
up.
God.
Right. So
We hop into his car.
Did we hop
He
into his
takes-
car?
Yep, he takes us to the vineyard.
okay.
Yep.
We sure we hopped into his car? I thought we stayed in our car. I
No,
think we
because
followed.
then we went back and he dropped us back off.
Rubbed us off. Okay, so we get in his car. We go to the vineyard. He's showing this 80-year-old vines, 60-year-old
They don't
vines.
have a tasting room.
They don't have a tasting room.
No tasting
He's
room.
trying to build a tasting room, but he's in a
We're
preserve.
tasting wine on boxes.
Well, on boxes in a warehouse
Yeah.
on boxes.
And actually he said, you know what, we're gonna go for lunch. He took
Oh,
us to
lunch.
an amazing
Let's not get ahead of the story here. So he takes us to his property, and this is my property. I want to build a tasting room here. These are where the vines are. However, I can't build anything here. It takes like 4 or 5 years to build something because
Yep.
here's a bird refuge. This is in the migratory path. The vineyard's in a migratory path of all these birds. And to do anything here, I have to get all these permits, approvals, studies are done. He goes, it's going to be years before I get a tasting room here, but the plan is to build a tasting room right here. And of course,
Amazing
and not
project.
harm the birds.
And they were so close to the almonds, right? To
Almonds.
Yeah. I mean, everything was like so close.
So we're there having a great time. And he's like, let's go out to lunch. And he takes the 3 of us to lunch. And we drive into another little small town around the corner. And we
I think
sit
it
down.
was it Michelin rated or was
It
a
was.
Michelin
It
rated.
was a Michelin rated restaurant. It was a Michelin rated restaurant. And the chef there turned in his Michelin star. Said, I don't want this anymore. I don't want the pressure.
Yeah.
I don't want this. And got much more fame from giving his Michelin star back to Michelin, saying, I don't want your recognition anymore. I don't want your star. I don't want the pressure. I just want to cook good food.
Out of
And-
all of the meals we had when we were away in that trip, that was the most amazing meal.
That meal was
Yeah.
fantastic. So Raphael took the 3 of us to this amazing, amazing restaurant. And it wasn't even like it was like a luxurious
No,
restaurant.
it wasn't.
It was a very simple decor, very simple restaurant. The chef came to the table. We took a picture of the chef. We talked to the chef. And
I think we had paella there.
we had paella. You have to have paella. You have to buy.
And they made these amazing cookies.
We had
and
artichoke paella,
Yeah.
which is black paella. This is interesting. So artichokes that go into paella turn the rice brown or black because the artichokes oxidize.
Yeah.
Oh.
The oxidation of artichokes turn the rice a different color. So if you put artichokes in it, it has this different color of paella. And so we had black paella, not what you think from
Wow.
squid ink, but from the
sounds
artichokes
yummy.
oxidizing.
It was so good.
And we had paella, we had more wine, and Raphael, we spent the whole day with Raphael.
It was amazing.
It was like one of the most amazing.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah. And really a one-man show. We literally get to the winery where he makes the wine, and it's a warehouse, and it's like the size of the restaurant
he had
here.
like 2 people packing.
He had 2
stuff.
people packing.
Yeah.
He's like, these 2 people pack, but he's the guy who's in the fields, the vines, tending to the vines, and he's the guy who's making the wine, and he oversees like 2 guys to package and box and get it ready to get on a pallet to ship out and stuff. But it was just like one of our most favorite. We had a lot of great experiences in Spain.
That was my most favorite.
You right?
Cool.
Val de Lopes was also great.
Yeah, but
Val de Lopes
yeah.
was great to sit there. So the great thing about all these people, they're friends with us on Facebook. We're friends with them. We send them messages. We tag them in posts, and they communicate to us. So it's just great to be able to buy wine from friends, people you know, and people you trust, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Soplo is back in New York, and it'll be back here next week. And so is Ochoa, the King's Wine of Navarra, Ochoa, back next week. We'll have Ochoa, and we will have Cambria's Soplo. And hopefully we'll have the Uno and the Dos and the Trace, or whatever he makes very soon. Because those
next year.
Yep.
the rosé, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm drinking the Soplo now, which is a Grenache, 100% Grenache, 100% stainless steel Grenache. And if you remember, sustainable organic. And he kind of not that he has to be, but that's what his passion is. But he's also in this bird preserve. The vines are in this bird migration passage that you have to be extra careful and take extra precautions that the birds are still going to come nest there and then keep their migration going to wherever they're going. So yeah, so that is it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Jamie and I are super excited about these wines.
I'm excited too.
We're getting ready to taste a hemp vodka next.
From Kentucky.
From Kentucky. Hemp vodka from Kentucky. So I'm not sure if there's any therapeutic values in here.
No.
But no, there's no therapeutic.
No
alcohol is
THC.
therapy. Alcohol is therapy. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We really, really appreciate the support. And that's it for now.
Yes.
Everybody, have a
'Cause I'll
great,
send
great,
it to
great day.
everybody.
Yeah, send it to everybody.
I will.
Share this video.